Have you ever wondered what sparked the American Revolution and led to the creation of the Declaration of Independence? Let's delve into the roots of American history. The American colonies were under British rule, and the colonists were becoming increasingly frustrated with the heavy taxes imposed upon them, taxes for which they had no say. This was the principle of taxation without representation, a bitter pill for the colonies to swallow. The tension escalated with a pivotal event known as the Boston Tea Party. This wasn't a party in the usual sense, but a political protest where American colonists dumped 342 chests of tea into the Boston harbor as a direct challenge to British authority. This act of defiance stoked the fires of the American Revolution. As dissatisfaction grew, the colonies began to consider the unthinkable: independence from the British Empire. Enter the Continental Congress, a convention of delegates from the 13 colonies. This gathering, held in Philadelphia in 1774, was an unprecedented moment in American history. Colonies that had once been fiercely independent came together to coordinate a united resistance against British rule. Leading the charge were key figures like John Adams of Massachusetts, a lawyer and a passionate advocate for independence. There was Benjamin Franklin, the esteemed philosopher, inventor, and diplomat from Pennsylvania. And of course, we cannot forget Thomas Jefferson of Virginia, a gifted writer and future president. These men, along with their fellow delegates, were the driving force behind the burgeoning independence movement. They were faced with a daunting task, challenging the might of the British Empire. Yet, they did not back down. Instead, they began to draft a document that would forever alter the course of history. With tensions mounting, the Continental Congress took a revolutionary step. They decided to declare independence. Imagine the pressure on Thomas Jefferson's shoulders as he sat down to draft the Declaration of Independence. It was a monumental task, one that would set the course for a new nation. Jefferson, a well-read man, drew upon the works of Enlightenment thinkers in his drafting. One of these thinkers was John Locke, who proposed the idea of a social contract, that the power of rulers comes from the consent of the governed. Locke's influence can be seen in the Declaration's assertion that when a government fails to protect the rights of the people, it is the duty of the people to alter or abolish it. Jefferson also included in the Declaration the timeless phrase, "All men are created equal." This was a radical notion at the time, challenging the established system of monarchy and aristocracy. It was a bold declaration of human rights and dignity, which would echo throughout the centuries and around the world. Another key phrase from the Declaration is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This encapsulates the ideals of the American dream, the freedom to live one's life as one chooses, to be free from tyranny, and to seek one's own happiness. Drafting the Declaration was not a solitary endeavor, however. It underwent numerous revisions as it was debated by the Continental Congress. Each word, each phrase, was carefully considered and refined. After much debate and revision, the final draft of the Declaration was ready for approval. On July 4, 1776, a historic decision was made. The Continental Congress, representatives of 13 American colonies, adopted the Declaration of Independence. This was not a swift or hasty decision. It was the end result of intense debate and deliberation, a proclamation born out of courage and conviction. The signing process was as momentous as the document itself. 56 delegates stepped forward, ready to put pen to paper. Each signature was a daring act of defiance, a personal statement of commitment to the cause of freedom. These were men who understood the gravity of their actions. They were well aware that their signatures could be construed as treason by the British Crown, putting their lives and their families at risk. Yet, they signed. They took the risk, believing in the ideals of liberty and self-governance. With the signing of the Declaration, 13 colonies boldly declared their independence from Britain, sparking a war that would determine their fate. The Declaration of Independence was more than just a political document. Its resonating echo traveled beyond the 13 colonies, igniting a spark of independence and human rights movements globally. From the French Revolution to India's struggle for freedom, the spirit of the Declaration profoundly inspired nations. It influenced constitutions, shaping societies on the principles of freedom and equality. The Declaration of Independence remains a powerful symbol of freedom and democracy, reminding us that governments derive their power from the consent of the governed.